There are stories you carry that should have ended years ago. There are people whose voices still echo in your mind long after they left. There are regrets, embarrassments, betrayals, heartbreaks that seem to keep breathing inside your chest. Even after you thought you'd buried them for good, you tell yourself it's time to let go. You tell yourself it's over. You try to move on, to reason with yourself, to rewrite the story. But some injuries refuse to go quietly. Some wounds replay themselves over and over, as if they need you to see them again and again. And you wonder, why can't I let go of things that hurt me? You aren't broken because of this. You aren't doomed. You aren't uniquely weak or foolish. You are human. Humans hold on to pain for reasons that make perfect, if heartbreaking, sense. Because letting go isn't an intellectual decision. You can't think your way out of what you haven't fully felt. You can't logic your way through emotions that live deep in your nervous system. The hurt stays like a splinter in your skin because it has a story to finish. And until it finishes, you will keep picking at the scab. It might sound strange to talk about pain as something you don't want to leave behind, but part of you does not want to let it go. Part of you believes that letting it go would be dangerous. That part of you is convinced that holding on will keep you safe or strong or prepared. You learn to protect yourself with memories of harm. You memorize the lessons that pain taught you, and you keep them close because you think they'll stop it from happening again. That is why you can recite every mistake you made in a relationship, every humiliation you suffered at school, every time someone betrayed you. You treat those memories like armor, repeating them so you can be sure you won't forget, so you can be sure you won't repeat them. Pain can become a teacher, but it is a ruthless one. You internalized its rules, you memorized its stories, and every time you almost forgive yourself, every time you almost trust again, every time you almost open your heart, that protective voice will yank you back. Remember what happened last time, it hisses. Don't be stupid. Stay guarded. Stay small. Stay ready. The human mind will do anything to avoid feeling vulnerable again. If you were abandoned, your mind will keep replaying the abandonment so you can anticipate the next one. If you were humiliated, your mind will keep rehearsing the moment so you never walk into that situation blind. It is trying to protect you in the only way it knows how. It is replaying pain like a drill sergeant preparing you for war. That is not because you are masochistic, but because you learn to equate vigilance with safety. There's another reason you cling to old hurt: identity. Pain can become a part of who you are. It's woven into your story. You learn to define yourself by what happened to you. You are the person whose parent left, the person who was cheated on, the person who was humiliated, the person who failed. You wrap yourself in those roles because they feel known, and anything known feels safer than the unknown, even if the known is deeply painful. Letting go means rewriting who you are. That is terrifying. If you release the story of being the abandoned one, who are you? If you stop seeing yourself as a failure, then what? If you don't identify with your trauma, then what's left? It feels like a free fall, a blank space. Even the worst pain can be more comfortable than an empty page. So you hold on, because holding on at least feels familiar. Maybe you also believe letting go would be a betrayal. If you let go of a betrayal, does it mean it didn't matter? If you let go of an ex, does it mean you never truly loved them? If you let go of your anger, does it mean you're letting people off the hook? Part of you feels loyal to your hurt because your hurt proves that what happened was real. The pain is evidence. The pain is your witness. You think, if I stop feeling it, then maybe it never mattered at all. And you can't allow that. So you clutch the pain to your chest, refusing to let it vanish, because you think it is all you have left. Sometimes the reason is simpler. You hold on because you never got to express it. You swallowed the tears, the rage, the grief. You buried it to survive. But the feelings never went away. They waited. They waited for a moment of safety, a moment of honesty, a moment of breath. And when that moment never came, they stayed alive inside you, unresolved, unfinished. They replay themselves over and over, looking for release. They are stuck because you never let them finish their story. Modern culture doesn't help. You are taught to get over it, to move on, to be grateful, to look on the bright side. You are taught to reason your way out of emotion, to distract yourself, to stay positive, to hustle forward. And so you bury your pain even deeper. You shame yourself for still feeling it. You compare yourself to others who seem to recover faster. You decide you must be defective because you can't let go. But the truth is, what you resist will keep asking for your attention until it is fully felt. Pain is patient. If you ignore it, it will wait. If you talk over it, it will wait. If you numb it, it will wait. Because pain is a messenger, and messengers do not leave until their message is delivered. That is why you wake up thinking about the breakup 5 years later. That is why you still cringe over what you said in a meeting. That is why you still dream about the teacher who shamed you. Some part of you is still carrying the message. Some part of you still needs to grieve or rage or forgive. Until you let yourself do that, the pain will stay put. Letting go is not forgetting. Letting go is not pretending it didn't happen. Letting go is not excusing what was done to you. Letting go means you have digested the lesson. You have felt what had to be felt. You have honored the reality of it instead of denying it or replaying it on an endless loop. You have taken the message so the messenger can finally leave. That is real release. That is real peace. To get there, you must be willing to feel. That is the hardest part. Feeling is not the same as analyzing. Feeling means getting close to the raw, unfiltered truth of what happened. It means letting yourself cry or scream or shake or collapse. It means letting your body do what it could not do at the time. It means dropping the mental story long enough to actually grieve. And grieving takes time. It takes space. It takes honesty. No spreadsheet will save you. No motivational quote will shortcut the process. No amount of reframing will heal a wound you have never truly touched. The only way out is through. You have to walk through it, breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat, allowing the feelings to burn through you until they no longer hold you hostage. If you were taught to fear big emotions, this will feel impossible. You will panic that the grief will drown you, that the rage will consume you, that the shame will crush you. But feelings are waves. They rise, crest, and fall. They move through you when you give them permission. They do not stay static if you let them move. What stays static is the part of you that refuses to feel. That's why people stay stuck for years. They stand on the shore, terrified of the water, refusing to step in, and the wave just keeps circling back. Learning to feel is a skill. It is not automatic. You might need help to do it. You might need a therapist, a safe friend, a journal. You might need movement, music, art, tears, anything that breaks through the numbness, anything that reminds you that you are still alive, still allowed to react. This is not weakness, it is the path forward. Another reason you can't let go is the belief that suffering gives you moral power, that if you hurt, you are deep, wise, aware, that if you heal, you will become shallow or naive. Some people tie their identity to pain because it feels meaningful. It feels like proof of a hard-won story. If you've known a lot of suffering, letting it soften can feel like erasing what made you unique. But you are more than what happened to you. You are more than what you survived. Holding on to pain will not keep you wise. It will keep you tired. It will keep you small. Healing does not steal your depth. Healing is what allows you to carry that depth with dignity, rather than being buried by it. You can remember everything, honor everything, and still release the grip it has on you. You can integrate the lessons and then put them down, instead of dragging them like chains for the rest of your life. People also struggle to let go because of habit. Pain becomes a mental habit, a familiar soundtrack. If you have rehearsed a painful memory 1,000 times, the brain wires itself to expect it. Neurons fire together, wire together, repeat. Your mind will keep going back there by default, even if it no longer serves you. It is just what it knows. And breaking that habit takes active, intentional work. You have to catch yourself, name it, and choose another path, over and over until the new path becomes familiar. This takes patience. It takes patience because your brain will pull you back. It takes patience because your heart will resist. It takes patience because change is slow. And along the way, you will slip. You will fall into old spirals. You will beat yourself up. That is okay. Gently return. Every time, gently return to the intention to let go, even if it takes 100 tries. Letting go is not a moment. It is a practice. You do it again and again until one day you realize the memory has lost its sting. You realize you can think about them without your stomach dropping. You realize you can tell the story without tears in your eyes. You realize you can live today without yesterday owning every breath. That is how you know you have let go. It is never about erasing your story. It is about giving yourself permission to write new chapters. It is about freeing the space inside you so something else can grow. If you keep clinging to what hurt you, there is no room for love, for joy, for wonder, for risk. Pain takes up all the air, and you deserve to breathe. There will be voices in your head from other people telling you that letting go is weak, that it means you lost, that it means they won. But letting go is the ultimate strength. It is the ultimate act of reclaiming power. When you let go, you are saying, I do not have to live in this story anymore. I get to choose. That is freedom. That is agency. That is the boldest thing you can do. Some people will not understand. They will ask why you aren't angry anymore, why you aren't obsessing, why you aren't as bitter. They might even resent you for leaving the pain behind. That is their path, not yours. You do not owe anyone your suffering. You do not have to keep holding a grudge to prove you were hurt. You do not have to keep bleeding to make your wounds visible. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to decide that you will not let the worst moments of your life define every moment that follows. In the quiet, you might notice a strange kind of grief when you start letting go. It feels like saying goodbye to an old companion, even if that companion was cruel. Pain has kept you company. Pain has been your story. Pain has been your explanation. Releasing it means standing on new ground. It means you no longer get to blame the past. It means you have to face your own choices from this moment forward. That is scary, but it is also the place where life begins. Nothing you have lived will ever be erased. Your heartbreak, your shame, your regret, your fears, they will always be part of your story, but they do not have to be the whole story. You can let them rest. You can visit them without setting up camp there. You can learn from them without dragging them into every tomorrow. You can love who you became because of what you survived and still decide to grow beyond it. That is what letting go means, not forgetting, not erasing, not excusing, just freeing. If you are struggling to let go, try giving yourself permission to feel what you never let yourself feel. Try trusting that your body can survive that feeling. Try remembering that you are safe now, even if you weren't then. Let the memories come. Let the tears come. Let the rage come. Then breathe and keep going again and again until it starts to move. Someday you will look back and realize the story changed. It softened. It found its place in the past. And you stepped forward into a life that had space for something more. That is not weakness. That is how healing happens.